Welcome back to Numbers Known. I'm here with someone who I had to get pronunciation assist with, Chris Van Prague. I said Von Prague. I had it exactly backwards. He is a notoriously awesome sales humor content creator. He is an AE at Supered. I also work at Supered, so this is very much an internal look at somebody that I've admired, respected, followed for a long time, even before I got here. How are you today, Mr. CVP? If you didn't know who that was and you see him, I actually forgot. My wife asked me about a guy that I worked with named Chris. I denied it. I've known him as CVP for so long that I had forgotten his actual name, which is a hilarious story. But how are you today?
I'm doing very well. It's always nice to have some time. We don't get much time, despite being colleagues. We rarely spend time together, so it's always nice to have a chat. Always
We
good.
we had I always blame the time zone math and time zone calendar and being a parent on that. Well, we're going to get closer today, I hope. And numbers known, the thesis is that top performers know their numbers. Shout out to this. Super helps you know what they are to improve them. But we care more about the stories and the people behind those numbers and why they care so much about them. I have a gift for you. It's three numbers that I brought, but tell us your three numbers first, and then we'll go into them one by one. What three numbers kind of sums up CVP?
Well, yeah. Well, sums up is. I don't think it sums up all of it, but certainly sums up a few elements that I think are worth us chatting about. The first one is 15. The second number is 15,473, and the third number is 2.
15, I could take a guess at. I wouldn't be sure. I would guess that's the amount of time you've been in sales or in the B2B SaaS content creator space.
No.
No.
But that would have been a good number. 15 is my goal for net new meetings booked a month. I'm a full cycle seller here, so we don't have SDRs. So I book my own meetings as well as run my own deals. I find it very easy to run my deals. That we have a process, we have Supered, all of that good stuff. I'm not going to add for Supered, but I find it very easy to run my deals. The thing that takes up the most amount of my thoughts and efforts in my sales day to day is ensuring that I hit that number of 15, because that means that I have enough pipe to be able to close and hit quota. And for some, it'd be many more than that. I'm very fortunate that the type of deals and the type of quota we have, that's a good number. And so that really is my like North Star when I look at like my monthly activities, is like, I just want to make sure I have enough in the pipe. And everyone always talks about never stop prospecting, which is always something that I've always stood by. I've always prospected as an AE. And so that's just always the number that's in my mind. When I hit it, I feel good. And when I'm not close to hitting it, I don't feel good. And so that is that's the metric at which I spend a lot of my accountability and my sales time working towards. I think about that number a lot.
How do you get most of these?
LinkedIn primarily. Well, I mean, a combination. So we serve two main ICPs. One is service companies, so typically HubSpot agencies and service companies. And I'd say that we do have some degree of an inbound arm with that. We're more well known in the HubSpot service company space, but often most people require a nudge. And then the other piece is what we would define as like an end user, which is typically sales, RevOps teams looking to enforce processes. And so I don't mind where those meetings come from. We are primarily focused towards the end user model than we have been. Typically in the past, we've been more focused on the service company side. I look to source them. I don't rely on getting any percentage of that number delivered to me inbound or by somebody else or from other means. It tends to be.
So LinkedIn is not dead if most of them come from there. I would assume, I mean, email or the initial touch there, but you create lots of videos. What is a typical successful, it's 0.75 meetings a day or working day for the month is 15. If you booked one meeting per day, that would be fantastic. But is that through participating in their feed? Is that through a targeted list? Is it commenting, which I'm kind of spilling some of our behind the scenes stuff that we've been, working through and doing, but what is the typical mannerism or method in which you secure a meeting?
It's been about 90% LinkedIn. So that would mean connecting with people, sending them a DM, like a well thought through DM, typically a video. I would say 95% of the time I would shoot a video. Um, and then the intention is always getting them to watch that video and going back to that video. So then I might be commenting on other posts of theirs or linking them to other stuff. Everything happens in LinkedIn. I send a very small amount of cold email. I do send a little bit now as we've sort of broadened our ICP, but it's a well thought through, personalized but templated email. But the intent really is just the more familiarity, and the booking will almost certainly come from LinkedIn, them watching the video. I would say 85% of the actual meetings that end up getting booked are from people watching the first video that I sent them and using the meeting link on that video. So I don't go to that contact and look at their number of followers and then think, oh, this is going to be tough. I just will, in my mind, rank the likelihood of them booking a meeting by a few measures. One being like, how good is my like how likely is their need for Superid? Like, what's their role? Have they if someone posts something that we directly solve for, I'm going to just chase that person down until they book with me or they tell me to go away. So that's great. But if they don't have that, we still have a very strong point of view and we are solving a very clear problem for that ICP. And so I think when you have that as a rep, when you know that you are fundamentally solving a problem that other people in their space have, and you have that conviction and that point of view, that makes the constant follow-up more I feel fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with continually to bang. I booked a meeting today with somebody who had ignored my video and hadn't, because I just felt so strong. They posted something, they felt so strong that I knew it was something they had to see, that I just kept going back to it until they eventually booked, and they actually booked today.
Bogue on the previous episode talked about 4 as one of his numbers, being it was a Gong study that found that most reps give up after 3 outreaches, and they found a significant spike of meetings booked, like responses after that 4th call or 4th attempt. And I guess it was because it now puts the ball in their court of like, oh, I either have to say go away, I have to respond, I have to take action, or I have to book, which is great. Great segue. This is like a double segue into my first number for you, which is 0. Any idea what that would be?
Is it a Superid one? Superid number?
Yes.
Is it violations on a process board?
It is. So 0 for you, number of errors you're expected to have at the end of each day on your process board for sales. I feel like I've alley-ooped for you to explain that pretty well, but 0 as a number that explains you, would you agree? What does that mean for people that need to know what a process board is and why they should care about the number 0?
So this is all about pipeline management, deal management, right? And I mentioned earlier, like when I think about my sales activities, I don't worry so much about deal management. And we have mapped our entire process into a board. We use rules of boards. And fundamentally what it is violations of that process. So a violation might be, I haven't reached out to somebody in 5 days, or there's no next meeting for this person, or I haven't sent them a LinkedIn request, whatever it might be. All of the data, so the close date is up to date. Anything that like is a break in process. So it could be data or it could be behavioral. With our board, the way I now run my deals is I click play on the board, and that tells me any deals that need attention. So in the past, the way I used to manage my deals was most days, especially at the start of the week, I would go into HubSpot, open up my deals, open every single one, and just like look at each deal, like, is the close date right? When did I last reach out to them? And you're thinking about this stuff. And it would take time. I would always like set aside a couple of hours, definitely on a Monday, and even like 20, 30 minutes a day to look at each one and have I done everything? What am I going to get chewed out on a one-to-one or a forecasting call?
This is triggering post-traumatic sales disorder for me right now, because I used to do that too. But go ahead.
That's how most will do it, because that is the way that you do it, right? You and if you're a good rep, that is what you do. You're doing that. Bad reps don't even bother. They just wait to get someone tell them that they haven't done it, and then they deal with the problems once someone shows them. And so what I do is every morning I run the board. I don't have to look at the deals that don't have any violations, that have had activity in the last 5 days, or that I have sent a LinkedIn DM to recently, because Super knows that they're done. So I don't have to look at it and go, oh yeah, it's fine. It just sends me things I need to action. And so the way other users will solve this is like tasks. You create tasks for yourself. And that's okay, but it's not specifically a curated list, and tasks often get used for kind of everything, especially in HubSpot. And so how do you know whether you've done all the right thing? And so that's how we use boards. And so my intent is always just to be at 0. And then I know that my deal management is fine. And so when I have time when I'm focusing on sales, as long as I'm at 0, I'm then just focused on outbound activity to generate more.
Your second number was 15,473. Shout out
Yeah.
to me for preparing for that. I think I know this one. Is that the amount of LinkedIn followers you currently have as of this conversation?
Yes, it is. And I'll caveat that with, that's not the world's largest number of LinkedIn followers. It's not a small number. It's not a massive number. But I wanted to think of something that represents my relationship with LinkedIn, because that is and has been and continues to be a very big part of my life in B2B SaaS. And so that felt like the logical one. And it's not me trying to be, arrogant by saying, oh, look at all these followers that I've got. I'm very proud of that number. And actually it's grown very slowly. I haven't done it over a quick period. I've been posting on LinkedIn since 2020, and maybe that could have been the number. But I have consistently, and I get this feedback a lot. So it's interesting. I've seen people make videos and go viral and grow huge audiences, and I've seen them disappear. And I've seen new people come in and build audiences really, really fast. And I've been like, oh, and like, that's awesome. I've just always posted on LinkedIn. And my original reason was just because I had no real presence on LinkedIn, and I wanted to just show people that I was a genuine human being. Like, I feel like I'm a nice person to get along with. I have some, I'm intelligent, and I have an opinion, and I wanted to be able to share a bit more of my own personality that might mean people were more open to having a conversation with me about Vidyard and now about Super. And that has always consistently worked. What I wasn't expecting by doing that was that it would help me to be able to kind of build out this kind of what people define as a personal brand that's led me to be able to get paid for like posting on behalf of other B2B brands. It's meant that I haven't had to apply for a job or like in 5 years. Like, I was originally at a HubSpot agency. I got the job at Vidyard because I made videos and posted them on LinkedIn. I moved into marketing at Vidyard because I did the same thing. And when I was laid off at Vidyard because they did a reorg and everybody in Europe was laid off, Matt, my boss now, reached out to me within a few days, I think, of me like posting saying, oh, I've been laid off, saying I'm hiring for an AE in EMEA. Would you be down for having a chat? And that was 2 years ago. And I love it here, and it's been great. But I never, I didn't have the fear. I had people in my inbox immediately.
What would you say to somebody that doesn't want to post to LinkedIn for any number of reasons? And it may be more social media, the putting yourself out there thing, especially on a professional network. I've had people really reticent to do that because they didn't believe in what they were going to do, or they had doubts or imposter syndrome. And I also know that you have a wife and kids, and that creating some of the amazing videos that you've done require time. So like, why put the effort in, and why put yourself out?
I didn't go, oh, I'm going to, I want to be a whatever. I'm going to monetize my LinkedIn following, and I'm going to do all, I didn't like, I've always liked making like videos. I've always been creative. Sales, you don't really get much of an opportunity to like do your creative side. And so folks who will probably do creative things outside of their day to day. I just found a way of like incorporating fun and creativity into my work. My advice in that regard is just try things. Like, when I first started making videos on LinkedIn, I thought they had to be serious. And so if you go back far enough, if you can be bothered and go back far enough, there's like videos of me when I was at BabelQuest, the HubSpot agency I worked at. And I'm like, basically I take a case study and I was like, and sharing the stats and like talking in my home office, like sharing all these stats. and that just like wasn't me. Like, who am I? Like, I wasn't part of the case study. It just, I just thought maybe that's what you do. You post professional videos, and then I just made one like funny one, more funny. I found like a way of kind of talking about HubSpot in a more sort of creative, funny way, and it did way better. And I was like, oh, perfect! Like people enjoy this. I'm enjoying it more.
I have another number for you. It's 42%.
Oh,
Well, I guess 42 would be the number. So this is a two-part, a two-function number. Any idea what 42 would be? Since I gave you kind of a spoiler hint that it's 42%.
well, 42. Given that we were on a call and we were sharing books, 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything, according to Douglas Adams. I don't know it as a percentage.
You got the most important one. I snuck that in
Okay.
there. Yes, that is correct. I figured you would get that. Douglas Adams is great. It's one of the most satiric, well-written, pieces of satire probably ever. But it is the average increase in close rates when sales reps incorporate video into deals in later stages.
I should probably know that because that was a stat that I would have ended up saying back when I was selling Vidyard.
Have you found that there's a correlation to hit your meeting goal, hit your close rate goal, like all of that with incorporating video? Or has video been such an ingrained part of just how you operate for so long that candidly, you wouldn't know any difference if you weren't using it?
I don't know about the close rates thing to that exact point, right? Like I just always will shoot short videos and things and send them. I absolutely still now, like I'll send video DMs to people, and people still are like, oh great. Like it still surprises me now that people aren't just getting bombed with videos like in their DMs. It's just, and I've been barking up this tree literally since like 2019 when I first started working in SaaS. That was how it all started for me. Was like, we as at BabelQuest, we were an early Vidyard partner. I got hold of it. Lockdown had just happened in COVID. And so I was just shooting videos and sending them to people and just getting all these awesome reactions. And that still happens now, like 7 years later. I still get DMs from people being like, oh, great approach. Yeah, I get it. Let's meet. Like I sent, internally one to someone's new that's just joined our sales team. It was like, I wasn't connected with them. I connected with them. I sent them a video. They immediately booked. Like that's a one touch, like to meeting. Wouldn't have happened without a video.
Your third number is 2. I am going to probably take a wrong guess here, but you've done you've done 15. So the goal for meetings, you've done 15,473. I did say this was professional and personal, and I'm just going to say that 2 is the number of kids you have, and is that right?
You got it.
I'm getting so much better at this. I missed all the other ones.
I mean, it's maybe an obvious one to go for, and it's unfair not including my wife there. So I could say 3 family members, but yeah, 2 kids. I mean, they're great, 8 and 5. I feel very fortunate to work from home again as a result of like all of the stuff that I've done. I'm able to do that, and it's so funny because that's all they're used to. Like it's such a weird thing, right? I had that classic, as most of us millennials did when their parents were working, was the classic, dad would leave in the morning with a slice of toast and would be out the door and then wouldn't see him until 6. And my mum, didn't work while we were kids, all that kind of stuff. And me and my wife both work full-time jobs, and yet the kids bowl in and they'll come straight in and they'll be in and jumping into meetings and stuff and things. And so, they're awesome. Obviously, that's why most of us work, is to create opportunities for ourselves and our families and stuff. And so I am done at 2. I know you have more, and that's awesome. I couldn't handle more than 2. It's awesome.
That was not on my list of follow-up questions, which is fine. A follow-up. This is from my son. What do your kids think you do for work?
Well, the thing is, your kids are a bit older. And so mine don't think mine still think it's quite cool, because they see me making videos and they'll be like, oh, what are you working on? And then it will be like, oh, I'm making this new video for whatever. And then they think that's awesome because they watching YouTube. So they still think it's quite cool. I reckon I've probably got about 12 to 18 months before they clue into like, oh wait, none of this stuff is on like TikTok or YouTube. It's all on this other place. And then in a few years, they're going to find it incredibly cringe and embarrassing. And I did think about that when they're at secondary school and stuff, and they're just like, they're probably going to be very embarrassed. My daughter, who is older, knows I work in sales, but it's funny when you get the perspective of kids, like, say, they don't really, like, there's a B2B sales, right? So sales, like, they just think like, to them, it's like grocery sales or something. Like, it's a physical thing that people come on and they go, I would like to buy it. And I'm like, fantastic. I will sell it to you. How many would you like?
My last number for you is 5.
What might 5 be?
Is the number of words in the tattoo on your upper right arm. Hope this finds you well. That I think pretty decently encapsulates your style of humor, your approach, kind of the satirical, non-serious. Why did you get that, and when?
Well, I got it. I got it actually to sort of semi-commemorate my getting laid off. So I got it a couple of years ago now, and I got it, and I'm sort of I've got quite a few tattoos. So I've gone past the point of like, oh, they've all got to be perfect and super meaningful and stuff. And now I'm into the realms of like, and I know what my like job is, and so I don't worry, like kind of worry about how's it going to affect me if I become whatever. So now I'm in the realm of like, is it like, oh, that's quite funny. Like I can, so I've got some really silly ones. That one actually like has more meaning than some of them, which is like for a lot of the stuff I said when I was talking about LinkedIn, like B2B, moving into B2B SaaS, particularly like since I've been at Vidyard and now Supered, like it completely changed my life. And so Hope This Finds You Well is like a sort of summary of the B2B world, right? I work in sales, right? And it's in a little gravestone. I think it's funny.
Can we see it? There we go.
Hey, can't get the camera. There we go. I posted about this on LinkedIn the other day, and a few people came up with some like great suggestions, like getting one of my favorites was like getting a circle on your back to commemorate how often you're circling back, which is so I mean, that's tempting. I'm not going to lie, getting that. So there's a few funny ones out there, or just thoughts on your knuckles, THOUGHTS. So
I like the idea of getting a calendar link tattooed on your arm, almost
like a QR code.
Yes. And if I would sum up the whole ethos of this podcast intent, it's that you're more than just a 42% increase in close rate or 15 meetings booked a month, or your outstanding, very respectable 15,473 LinkedIn followers. There's a lot more to people than just those benchmark numbers. And I've found out a lot about that today.
Been good to chat. Good numbers on your side. We'll never have got the 5, but I'm glad we did.
Nominate one person that is going to see this that you want to know their numbers as well. Could be anybody.
What about Laura Erdem at Dream Data? You know Laura?
Laura Erdem. You are now nominated.
She'd be great.
I have to.
And she got loads of numbers in the bank, I reckon.